Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome back. And today we're working on the Lace and Ladies Journal. As you can see, I've got the signatures here in front of me. And in the last video, I made the cover, but I'm not quite ready to finish that yet because I think I need to just do a little bit more work in the signatures. I'm not going to be adding any more papers or anything, but I do want to add a little something to each one. And I've had a thought about what I might do. I could just add some coffee dyed paper, and that's still an option because I've only got 11 pages in each signature and it feels like an odd number. So I think what I'll do to start with, and it may lead still to adding another page, a coffee dyed page, but I pulled out a couple of things that I thought I would add to each signature. Different thing to each one, sort of different-ish. So I've got a couple of paper bags. One is rather a bright candy stripe, which I will try and knock back a bit with lace and stuff, so make it less bright. But it is pink, and it would go in here. You know, it's not too bad. It's just a little bit bright. So that's that one, and it's a smallish one, but it will go in quite nicely into the signature. And then I've got this much bigger one, this bigger plain white one, which I will need to cut down. I think I've marked where I might cut it down to, so it'll be actually a bit smaller than this one. I'll decide where I'll need to cut it when I come to do it. And then I have an envelope, just a straightforward plain envelope, but it has got a window on the other side. So I'm going to put that into one of the signatures as well. I did tear off the stamp just because it was a modern stamp and it didn't really look great on there. So that's the third thing. So I thought I'd put one in each signature, see if it still felt like it needed something else, and then I'll add the coffee dye paper if necessary. But I wanted to decorate these today to start with. And then I may decide where they're going to go before I decorate a couple of them. But the first one I want to do, which I do know what I want to do with, is the envelope. I think ideally I'd put that in the middle signature just so that it breaks up a paper bag in the first and the third, and the envelope in the middle one. So I think what I need to do before I start, I've decided I want to use some napkins to decorate the envelope. I may use them as well on maybe on the paper bag. I haven't quite decided, or on one side of the paper bag as well. Because I'm not going to be able to use them, I don't think, on this side. It'd be a bit tricky to go around this window. So I think what I'll start with is perhaps just putting something on the inside of the window, then we know what will work on the outside. So I think I'll have to I'm going to trim across here to open it up a bit. I won't glue this down until after I've decorated the inside. So I think that's the plan for today. I don't know how far I'll get. I may decide to finish some of this off camera just to get things moving along, because I'm not able to do as many videos at the moment, so it could take a long while to get this done, because I have a strong feeling that Christmas is going to interrupt this journal and that we may have to leave it until the new year to finish. I'll get it as far as I can, but I can feel Christmas creeping up on me and the urge to do Christmas, and I'm resisting it at the moment. I may have mentioned it before. But when I'm not on camera, I am starting to do some Christmas preparations, and I'm preparing my new kit and doing some fussy cutting and stuff like that. So the more I do it, the more I feel the urge to start working on it full time. But I think I'm going to try and hang on for a couple of weeks and get this journal, at least the cover finished and the signatures sewn in. It may be that we then will come back and do the ephemera and those bits and pieces after Christmas, when I'm ready to really crack on with something completely different. So I think that may be how it works out, just saying at the moment. That's how I think it might go. So I'm going to focus on this for now, because I have so many pretty things around me. It's going to be a fun thing, but I don't want to do it with half my heart somewhere else, if you see what I mean. Half my heart looking at doing Christmas, wanting to do Christmas, and not giving it all to this pretty journal because I want this to be gorgeous, and I'm a bit worried that I might not give it my full attention the closer we get to Christmas. Right, having said that, what was I going to do? Oh yes, I need to do something on the inside of the pocket, and I thought maybe something fairly neutral would be a good idea, because then it gives us a bit of free rein as to what we can do on the outside. So I might just tear that down a little bit. Just tear it. This was a page that was folded, so I'll just tear along that fold line, and then we'll see how much we need to actually line the pocket. Don't need an awful lot, just a little piece. So I wonder if any of you guys are starting to think about and work on Christmas stuff. It creeps up on you, doesn't it? I know a lot of crafters are starting it in July. Well, I can't imagine doing Christmas in July. That's just not something I've ever felt the urge to do. But now it's October. Today's the 1st of October. And I've seen, certainly Gail is knee deep in Christmas, and I do watch her videos a lot. So I think it's partly her fault. I'm going to blame Gail for getting me in the Christmas mood, because she's doing stuff and I want to be there. I want to be doing it. I know she's making multiple journals, and I'm only going to be working on 2, but actually that's one more than usual, because I had started one last year, which I will link when I start doing Christmas, start working on that journal, because it needs finishing. It's done the cover and I've sewn in the signatures, but I haven't finished it, so that's got to be worked on. And then I want to do another one from scratch, and I've just got to reach for my glue book, just one sec. Yeah, so anyway, I won't keep banging on about Christmas. Let's just concentrate on our lovely lacy journal. So I want to decorate these 3 things a bit differently. I hope I can get them to look a little bit different. But there will be a certain amount of collaging, I imagine, on all of them. And I think that's sometimes just making the things to go in the journal are more fun than actually putting the journal together. At least I think it is. It's nice to see it all going into place, but I do enjoy making the things. I may have mentioned that before, how much I enjoy making the things to go in the journals, and this is kind of part of it. It's decorating. So there we are. That's got a nice little thing to go inside. It just looks a bit better in the pocket, and then we can decorate around that. And first of all, I think I need to just glue this down. I'll glue the flap shut. Oh, this page is a bit gluey already. Better tear this out. All right. So now we have, let's try and make sure this is lined up. Now I really fancy doing a bit of napkin collage, but I can see I've got some things to cover up, so it's a case of whether I can actually cover up the little bit of faint printing on here or not with what I'm using. Sometimes it doesn't matter too much if it shows through, if it's not too heavy. So that's really pretty, isn't it? That little piece on there. I think that's just the right size, isn't it, to go on there? Yeah. Very pretty. Okay, let's do that. Just going to pop this piece of paper under here. And then I'm just going to cover, I think I'm just going to cover this with glue, stick this on and then trim around it. I think that's the simplest thing to do. So I've had Lissy in my craft room this morning. She and her mum popped round. They were on their way, she was on her way to a birthday party, but they wanted to come and see how the kitchen's going. And there were a suitable number of wows, especially from my daughter when she walked in and saw the space. It's just, it does look fabulous, I have to say. So I might just try and take it to that edge there. Yeah, I've been dying to show one of my daughters at least. Hannah and George might pop round during the week, depending on how things go with the baby. But I've been wanting to show them. It's not that it's by any means finished, but it does look so different to how it looked before. And I wanted to just get their reaction, really. So that was really fun. And then Alyssa decided she desperately had to do a picture for her little friend whose party she's going to. So up she came and diving in all my drawers as usual, getting out all the bits she wanted to use. She knew where everything was that she wanted, and proceeded to make a picture for her friend Emily. So it was fun. That was fun to spend that time with her. We haven't done any crafting for a while. Well, she hasn't been here for a couple of weeks because of all the work. So, whereas we normally bring her here once a week after school, last week we took her back to her house, looked after her there. But I think this week she might be able to come back here again. Don't think there's anything, well, we'll have to see what's happening this week, but I think it'll be okay for her to come here. Even if we have to come up in my craft room for a bit while the builders are still here, who knows? Don't think she'll mind that too much. Or she'll go in the garden with Grandad. She loves to do both of those things. Right. There we are. So, just smoothing that down. Because the little, it's like a selfagey bit around the edge of a little bobbly bit around the edge of the napkin, you can just smooth that out once you've glued it on, which I have. And now I've got a few more bits to trim off, but it's not bad. Just caught it with my nail, that's clever. But I'll probably put some sort of image on here anyway. And I expect it'll be an image of a lady. That's what we're doing on this journal. Using all my lovely ladies. So I think I'll probably, I might just cut right across the top here so we've got a pocket. It's not going to be glued down, it's going to be open. But I still need it to be a pocket, don't I? Yeah, I'm going to cut across the top so that that's an open piece. Bit better. So I need to do a thumb hole. And I'll do one on the other side after I've decorated that as well. Or no, perhaps I better wait until I've decorated the inside before I do that. So that's going to also be some serviette. So so I'll do the blue on this side, I think. So I've got this one, or this one, which is a bit darker. Or I've got one that's got a bit of both in. I've got this one, which is pretty. Maybe that one would go better with this one. Got a bit of pink and blue in it. So I really like that. Yeah, so I want to get the blue in there. I'm going to just take this off. I'm going to do it with my water brush. Wrong bit. Didn't come out the end, came out the join. Alright, take that off. Okay, now have I messed it up completely? Squeezing too much. Just going to take that bit off and see if I've got enough now. Otherwise I'll use the other side. I've got loads of these ones anyway still, so I'm not going to worry too much. Yeah, maybe I'll have to do it that side. Okay. Just going to take it. Oh, it's too wet now. Take it up here. Just got to touch it really lightly. It's now the water's flowing. It's coming out a bit fast. That's it. Okay, let's try again. It's going to dry. Just dry my desk a little bit so I don't get any more water on there than I need. Right, let's try again. So I know I definitely want the blue with a bit of pink. Maybe I'll glue and then I'll cut off around it rather than doing it with the water brush. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do what I did before. Just cover the envelope with blue. With glue. With glue, not with blue. With glue. And then I'll stick this on. I might just give it a straight edge. So I haven't got to trim it off after. I don't want it going over the join. I think that's all right in the join. Yep. So I think I just need to let that dry and then we'll come back and I'll do the thumb notch. I might put some lace down the edge. And I don't know what it'll need much more. Need a little decoration. I'm going to cover up the little boo-boo there. Right. Caught it with my nail. Let's have a look at this side. So I'm just wondering whether to use another piece of one of these napkins for this side as well. Got this beautiful bird. If I did it about there, I'd lose a little bit of his wing, but not too much. I like that idea on the inside. I'm just going to, I think I'll cut a piece off so I'm not dealing with quite such a big piece. Okay. And maybe we'll manage to do a little bit of collaging with the napkin on the other side as well, just to stick with the same idea. So if I were to put it, no, I need to bring it down a bit. Don't want to lose too much of my bird. Okay, I'm going to do the same as before, cover it in glue, and then stick it on. Right, let's do that next. Reseal the pocket. Right, there we are. Oh, need a bit more glue down there by the looks of it. May even put a pocket in on the inside of this. I'm not entirely sure at the moment. See what's needed. Okay, let's trim that little bit off. There always seem to be a bit to trim off, don't they, with these little very delicate serviettes, napkins, whatever you want to call them. Ugh. Right, so I think I'd like to try and do a bit of collaging on here with the napkins as we've taken them this far. So I've got a few bits. I've got the colour on here that I don't really want. That bit I could use. This bit here. I don't really want the little bit of turquoisey colour on this because that's not really a colour that I'm aiming to use in this, although there is a sort of turquoisey tone to some of the blues. So I'm just wondering, I might just put that along there. Okay, let's go with that. I'm going to put that to one side. It's got too much glue on it already. Okay, let's just glue along here. Okay, a little bit there, nice. I think I'd like to use a bit of this. Right. just cut out one of these squares. It might be the simplest thing to do. So that little bit would go quite nicely along there. In fact, let me think. I need that because I'm thinking it would go quite nice right down all the way round, wouldn't it? I could just follow the picture. Okay, and I just need a piece to go down here, and I was wondering about this pretty trim, that bit there. Where's my scissors? Where'd I put them? I'm sure I just got buried under my glue book. Okay. Going to just try and cut this off a little bit. It may not work. Might look alright along there. No, I think I need a bit more pink actually along that edge. Nope, don't really like that. Let's trim off some more of these silly bits. Let's trim that off there. And that bit. Right. Yep, need a little bit more pink along here. So let's bring this back in. See what bit I can find that would work. Okay, it's going to tear this little piece off. How would that look up there? Okay, that'll be fine, I think. There we are. Let's Still see the blue coming through behind that. Yep. I think I might just wrap that around. Can I do that? Yeah, it's thin enough. There. Okay. That is one pocket. It's not finished because I've still got to decorate it. I can probably do my thumb notch now. Try and get it central. Oh, quite thick. It's got stuck, I think. Uh-oh. I think there's too many layers. Mind you, it wasn't. It's not. I'm not doing it through the whole pocket, so the whole envelope. So I don't know why it's got stuck. Perhaps it's because it was still a little bit wet. So that's a lesson learned. Can't do that again. Now it's stuck. I hope I haven't broken it. Sorry about that. I'm hoping it'll pop up in a minute. So I'll leave it to one side, let it dry. Let's start the next one. What am I doing for time? Well, it's taken a while, hasn't it? Thought it would. Okay, let's move all this stuff out of the way. Well, let's have a go at this one. Now, have I got it folded evenly? Not really. Not that it matters that much, but it'd be nice to have it the same. Now, let's see where we want it. This is not necessarily the journal it's going to go in, but I just want to see the size that it needs to be. So, let's put it in. No, I don't necessarily want it the same size as the papers. I want it a bit smaller. There's my pencil. So I did mark it there. I don't want it huge. And I think I'll stick with the place I actually put the pencil. I don't want it huge. It's not a page, it's a pocket, so let's stick with that. And I'm going to use one of my funny edged scissors and hope that it works. Let me just try it out, because being left-handed I might have to do it the other way round to the normal way of cutting, just to make sure it cuts. Will it cut like that? Oh, yes, it will. Okay. That looks quite pretty. This is a pretty one. It's got a nice little, I don't know what you call it, little pretty edge. Let's just try that, shall we? Just cutting it along. Oh, it cuts all right on a piece of paper, but it doesn't cut so well. Try cutting it the way. I think Rachel cuts her things kind of like that. Oh, I can't do it like that. I'm going to have to cut like that. If it's not going to work, I might try something else. I wonder. I have got, bear with. So I've got this blade on my trimmer. It's called Victorian, and it's got a fancy edge, and I thought maybe I can try doing it on the trimmer with this fancy edge. So I've just got to swap it over. But I had this trimmer for donkey's years. 12, 15 years probably. So it's pretty good. Just get the blade the right end. Yeah, that's it. Pop that in. Back into there. Have I got it in right? Don't know if I've got it in far enough. Have I got it upside? No, it can't be upside down. Could be back to front though. Yes. It is, it's back to front. That's why it wasn't going in properly. Okay. clip it in. Just have to remember to change back to the straight blade afterwards. Let's see if I can get it to cut this for me, because my scissors don't seem to work on this multi-layer thing. Let's see if we can do it. Yeah! Lovely. Perfect. Like that. I never think to use these blades. I've got about 3 different blades, but that's my favourite, the Victorian. And I've got a scalloped one as well. And I think there might be a pinking one, but you can't use that to cut out stamps, really. So put that back in there. Okay. Right, so I've got a pretty edge on my... As I'm going to lose the idea of it being a paper bag with the flap thing here, I thought it's too complicated to try and recreate that, so I thought I'd just do a pretty edge on the top there, and that'll work quite nicely. Now we know what we're doing with decorating it. So I think this one I'm just going to do a standard bit of collaging, although, yeah, I've got a whole load of laces out here, but I think they're going to be for the other paper bag. And I've got these. This is the pack of Victorian papers that I got from Temu, and it's got some really pretty, something like this would be lovely, wouldn't it, on here. Get that one out, see if there's anything else. So that one's really pretty. I'm just going to pick out a few, I think, and see what I can do with them. Some of them have got the ladies on, some have got other things. Oh, there's even a Merry Christmas one. And that's really pretty as well. Nice, you've got a couple of each, so if you find one you really like. Okay, I'm going to just take a few of those out, just because I like... Oh, there's another Christmas one. Oh well, quite a few. It's worth bearing in mind. Okay, so the other pockets were kind of blues and pinks. I wonder if I should make this one a bit more lilac-y, because we've got a lot of lilac in the journal as well, haven't we, with the Myrtle Cottage papers. And I've still got some spare ones here. So I've got this piece from the Myrtle Cottage kit. There was one that had a bit more lilac in it. That one would go nicely with that. So I'm going to do a bit of tearing on this. So I'm going to put that on there and then layer this up over the top. Let's find a lovely lady, shall we, to go on the top of that. Oh, sorry. Oh. Let's try and see what we can find. I don't think I've got much in the lilac line, really. She's kind of, well, she's more of a black and white. She's one of the Italian ladies. She's an option. Just put her there. See if we can find something that goes even better. Just want a single one really. So I can tear her down. Possible. I've got her, she's a bit too big, isn't she? No. Oh, she's rather lovely. She's got a little colour in her already. Oh, she looks good on there. She's got some flowers. Yeah, I can tear her down, and she'll go right on there, I think. Put the Italian ladies away. Okay, so I had to do a quick battery change. So while I was off camera, I just inked around the paper bag, or this side of it, and the various bits of paper. So nothing you needed to watch. And I've just added a few touches of the Dusty Concord Distress Oxide, just to bring in a bit of lilac into there. It's a bit messy looking, but once you put this on, all you just see is just touches of colour. I've inked this one just with the usual vintage photo, and the same with this one, and then I've used the Dusty Concord on this one. So I'll just glue those on, and then I'm going to add some lace. Right, so this one first. Okay, so I've got some really pretty white lace here that I think I want to put a bit down the edge of the picture there. So I'll just put that on, take that off. Yep. Just glue that on. I'm just wondering whether to put a little flower down here. Once you start with the decorating, it's hard to stop, isn't it? And I'm aware I've used quite a lot of time on that envelope, so I may have to resume decorating this in the next video. Whether I do a bit off camera, I might do a bit, but I don't want to do too much off camera because I think it's more fun to do it together, isn't it? So a bit there. I'm just wondering what to put a little bit down the edge of the pocket as well. There. And I think I will. Oh, that's the wrong pin. I wonder if it was struggling to go through. I don't know what I've done with it. No, never mind. So this is the side that will open. So yeah, I'll put a bit of pretty lace down there too. Oops. I just want to see about putting a flower here. I'm just going to go and get get my flowers. I bought this pack recently from Tina. So I'll just try and open it without making too much crackly noise. I've got this purple, quite a dark purple. I don't know if I've got a lilac or more of a lilac colour. What's this one? Well, that's a bit more of a lilac, isn't it? It's quite a bit more delicate. Let's try that. Let's take this centre out. Just pinged it everywhere. That's pretty, isn't it? Because that fills in the lilac colours. I don't really want to go quite so dark and contrasting. Okay, so let's glue these on and then I'll find something to put in the centre. I'll do them one at a time. So it's got three layers. Oops. Going to glue him down. Doesn't want to lay down, does he? You have to sit something on him just to stick it down while I go and find something for the centre. I'm trying to think what I could get. I'll try one of these little, like a sparkly pearl, I suppose. That go in there without being too bulky. Ooh. Yeah, I think so. I think it needs something in the middle. Right. Okay, so that looks okay there. Now I've just made life difficult for myself because I want to stencil on the other side. Ha! I should have thought of that before I glued this on, shouldn't I? Certainly before I put, maybe if I take that off, glue that on after. It might be alright with just the flower. This may be a super long video, for which I apologise. It's taken me a while to do all of this decorating. But I'll just do this bit of stenciling, and I think I'll have to leave it until maybe I'll finish this off and then we'll come back and do the other bits afterwards. Because I've got my stencil here, and this is a Tim Holtz stencil called Flourish. And I'm going to use the Dusty Concord. Stick with the lilac theme. Try not to make it too dark, because it is quite a dark one, being an oxide, so I'm going to... No, I don't want that, do I? No, no, no. I want my brush. Silly me. a little bit of this. Right. So this is just going to need some sort of finishing off. Not sure how yet, so I'll come back to that. Oh, I've put a bit of lilac on the lace there, haven't I? That's okay. I think that needs trimming off a little bit. Okay, so I think for now that's all I can do. I've still got this attached, so I'm hoping that's going to release it at some point. And then I'll get a bit more decorating done on these as well. Yeah, that's not a good look, is it? I've already done it to the small one, so hopefully I'll be able to fix that. Otherwise I can see me having to buy more punches. I do use them a lot, so, and they're very old, my punches. So thanks for joining me today. There's lots more to do on these, so I hope you'll join me for the next one. Bye for now.